There was a little girl whose head was in a whirl. She went walking without worries or cares. This is the story that will tell you the tale of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Once upon a time, in a forest called Nibbly Knoll, there lived a beautiful young girl with long blonde curly hair that beamed by the light of the sun. Her name was Goldilocks, and although she was very pretty and very popular amongst the people of the forest, she could at times be a very naughty little girl. She often came home late for tea, and was climbing trees so high it would cause great concern for her mother and father, who were constantly in fear for their beloved daughter's safety. "By all means, play in the fields and the meadows, my dear," said Goldilocks' mother one morning, "but your father and I forbid you from going into the forest." "But I love the forest so much," said Goldilocks. "I love to climb the trees and look at the wonderful woodland creatures." "You are not to venture into the forest, and that is final," said Goldilocks' father. "I do not like you climbing the trees, and we are very concerned that you may get lost." "Oh, all right," said Goldilocks with a sigh. "I promise I will never venture into the forest again." For the next few days, Goldilocks kept her promise, but she soon became bored with playing on her swing in the meadow and picking apples from the trees in the orchard. "It's no good. I can't resist it," she thought. "I am going into the forest to have an adventure. I know I promised my parents not to venture into the woods, but what they won't know surely won't harm them." Making sure her parents couldn't see what she was up to, she tiptoed across the fields till she came to the great forest that she'd grown to love so much. Unfortunately for Goldilocks, she began to wander down a winding path that she was unfamiliar with, causing her both to be lost and confused. "Oh no, I think I'm lost," she cried. And as she did, it started to rain, heavily, and in no time at all, Goldilocks found herself in the middle of a huge storm, with howling winds, with thunder, and huge bolts of lightning creating a menacing atmosphere. The sight and sound of woodland creatures' response to the dreadful storm caused Goldilocks so much concern she tried to run home as fast as humanly possible. But Goldilocks was running in absolutely the wrong direction and ended up by a huge lake she had never seen before. "Oh dear, what am I to do?" she cried. "I should have taken my parents' advice and never ventured into the forest." However, slowly but surely, the storm began to cease, and although there was a slight mist across the surface of the lake, Goldilocks spotted a bridge that crossed over to a path leading to a rather inviting thatched cottage, which was painted in her favourite colours, pink, yellow and blue. "What a lovely-looking cottage," she said. "I will cross that bridge, knock on the door of that cottage, and I will ask the people who live there to help me to find my way home. Yes, hooray! Clever idea, Goldilocks. Hee-hee." She approached the door of the cottage, and she knocked on the door 3 times. Unfortunately for Goldilocks, there was no one at home at all. But then she noticed that a window next to the door was slightly ajar. Being the mischievous young girl she was, Goldilocks crept through the window and began to look around the cottage. The first thing she spotted was a rather large table, and around the table were 3 chairs. On the table itself sat 3 bowls of steaming porridge. Oh, it looked and smelt so delicious. She grabbed a spoon and started to help herself to the porridge in the largest bowl on the table. But she was disappointed with both the taste and the texture. "Oh, it's not as tasty as it smells, and it's far too salty for my liking. Also, it's so hard, it's more like a glorified flapjack if you ask me." Then, with spoon in hand, she started to eat the porridge from the medium-sized bowl at the other end of the table. "No, I don't like that either," she exclaimed. "This time I'm finding the porridge too sweet for my liking. This dollop of strawberry jam in the middle is completely overpowering." Then she began devouring the porridge in the third bowl, which, although it contained a much smaller portion, was far more pleasing for Goldilocks' finely tuned taste buds. "Oh, yummy! This porridge is not too sweet and not too sour," she said. And within less than a minute, Goldilocks had eaten it all up. So now, feeling very contented but a bit tired, Goldilocks decided to sit down on one of the 3 chairs that were placed in front of the roaring log fire. Unfortunately, the little chair was far too small and it broke into tiny pieces the moment Goldilocks sat on it. "Ouch!" she cried. "That really hurt. Never mind, I'll try this second chair. It looks slightly more comfortable anyway." But when she sat down on the second chair, which was of a medium size, she found the cushions too squidgy. "Oh, I can't settle on this chair. I hate squidgy cushions," said Goldilocks, and started jumping off the chair. And she hurled the cushions across the room, causing them to smash a beautiful vase on the nearby mantelpiece. Goldilocks decided to try the third chair, which was much bigger. But this time, she found the cushion on the chair too hard. "Oh no," she said. "I loathe hard cushions. I find them unbearable." In haste, she leapt off the chair, causing it to crash to the floor. Unfortunately, like the little chair, it ended up broken beyond repair. "This bad luck I have had with the chairs has left me totally exhausted," said Goldilocks. "I think I am going to go upstairs and help myself to a bed and have a nice sleep." On entering the bedroom, she saw 3 beds. One was small, one medium-sized, and one very large. She tried the small one, but found the blanket a little itchy. "I don't like itchy blankets. I come out in a rash," she said. She then tried the medium-sized bed, but did not like the fact that it had a feather pillow. "Oh no! A feather pillow! I have never liked them at all. They make me sneeze." And when she tried out the large bed, it was perfect. Oh, this is wonderful. No itchy blankets, no feather pillows, and the mattress is neither too hard nor too soft. Just perfect for a nice girl like Goldilocks. Goldilocks then fell into a deep, deep sleep. And as she slept, the owners of the cottage crossed the bridge, having been on a strawberry picking expedition. They were a family of 3 bears: Father Bear, Mother Bear, and Baby Bear. "I can't wait to eat my porridge," said Baby Bear. "Nor can I," said Mother Bear. "After our porridge, we can have a feast of strawberries and cream," said Father Bear as he opened the door of the cottage. As they entered the cottage, Father Bear looked at the table and said, "Who's been eating my porridge?" And Mother Bear said, "Someone's been eating my porridge too." Then Baby Bear cried, "Someone's eaten all of my porridge. I am really upset. I was looking forward to it so much." And then Father Bear noticed the damaged chair. "Someone has been sitting in my chair, and now it's broken," he growled. "Someone has been on my chair," said Mother Bear, "and the cushion is on the floor next to my favourite vase, which is all smashed into tiny pieces." "Someone has been on my chair and it's broken into pieces too," said Baby Bear, who began to cry in his mother's arms. Then, following the muddy footprints Goldilocks had left as she had walked up the stairs, the 3 bears entered the bedroom. "Someone's been in my bed. The blankets are ruffled," said Baby Bear. "Someone's been in my bed too," said Mother Bear. "The pillow is in a different position." "Someone is sleeping in my bed," said Father Bear rather significantly, and he let out an enormous growl, which woke up Goldilocks immediately, and she couldn't believe her eyes when she saw 3 bears glaring down at her. At first she thought it was part of a bad dream. and all the three bears began to roar louder and louder. And Goldilocks got up, ran down the stairs, and left the cottage immediately, slamming the door behind her. Then she got to the other side of the bridge, and she met a huntsman who was an old friend of her father. She told him what had happened, and after giving Goldilocks some stern words about venturing into the forest alone, he took her home safely to her parents' house. And there, Goldilocks apologised profusely to her mother and father. "I have been very naughty," she said. "Not only have I put myself in danger by entering into the forest alone, but I have trespassed into someone else's home." "Never mind, you have learned your lesson," said her father, before giving her a huge loving hug. Meanwhile, back at the bear's cottage, Mother Bear was serving up strawberries and cream. "I think it was very good that our growling scared that little girl," said Father Bear. "It'll teach her a lesson she will never forget." Then he looked into the eyes of Baby Bear and said, "I hope you learn from this too, Baby Bear. Never go out into the forest alone or trespass into strangers' homes." "Your father is right," said Mother Bear. "You never know what's lurking out there in the wild forest." And on that note, the three bears sat at the family table and enjoyed their feast of strawberries and cream.